folks, welcome to your week. I am so excited to be talking to you guys. This is the Pop Culture Roundup, and it has been 2 weeks, so that means our favorite is back with us to talk about all Bravo, all pop culture, any juicy tidbits, and of course, we're now turning this podcast into a wedding preparation podcast from this point on, just try to dip into that. So, ladies and gentlemen, somebody that's zooming in right from Charleston, where her potential wedding might be, the one, the only Sophie Ross.
Hi. Yes, I have been venue shopping. Babadoo.
This feels quick. You're already on the go for a wedding venue, and you are potentially going to be in Charleston, and you're in Charleston right now.
I'm no spring chicken. So,
oh my God, are you kidding me?
You know what? It's different when you're my age. I feel like it's just like, okay, I'm not gonna have the ovaries.
Oh my, this is insane.
Engagement. But you know what's funny that I was thinking about? That we have been doing this together for so long that we were doing this back in my single days. Remember when you would ask me about my dates and like all of the fun shenanigans I got into? And now look at me.
You're doing fun shenanigans together. I mean, you're still doing fun shenanigans, because who would have thought you would actually be in Charleston, the setting of Southern Charm, which just ended its most recent season with the 2-part reunion. Have you seen Craig Conover in town?
You know what? We did walk past Sewing Down South, and my mom doesn't watch Southern Charm and doesn't really care. But we looked inside. We didn't walk inside, but I just looked in the window, and there's a shirt in there that says, "What's wrong with my sewing?" And so all weekend I just keep being like, "What's wrong with my sewing?" And my mom's like, "Shut up."
Wait, there should be a t-shirt that says, "We didn't really land on the moon," and other Craig Conover conspiracy theories.
But you know what else is funny is that everywhere we go, they're like, yeah, we're visiting all these venues and stuff. And they're like, yeah, so we have some of the Bravo people. And I'm like, oh my God, Southern Charm. And they're all like, yeah, Madison was just here. And everyone's like, for some reason, Madison is the big one that everyone keeps bringing up. And then I'm like, Beta. I keep being like, Beta.
Well, wait, okay, so if you're in Charleston right now, is it a place that you would like to move to? Do you understand why Paige doesn't want to move?
I say this every time I'm obsessed with Charleston, which is why we're going to get married here. I want to move to Charleston. I would move to Charleston in 10 seconds. Literally, I'm obsessed with Charleston. I think it's the best city ever. I also grew up going on vacation here. So I just have a long history of loving Charleston. But my fiance, sadly, has no interest. So it's the opposite problem as Paige. Maybe we should trade spouses, you know?
Wow, you're not even at the wedding and you're wanting to trade spouses already. Also, have you seen Leva's place, Republic?
Yeah. And I've been to Republic before. We went here for my sister's bachelorette party too. So I know all about Republic.
Is the word on the street that Shep is staying sober, or any Shep rumors around the town?
He's not. Let's be real. I mean, I wish Shep the best, and that was a huge, for him to even admit that he has a problem. And that's why I texted Ryan after I watched the second part of the reunion. I was like, what happened at BravoCon? What happened? What are they not?
I said it many times. It just that from Friday, when I saw him, I was 10 feet from him. He seemed like he was on another planet. But I thought, okay, mushrooms, edibles, whatever. And then I guess it got progressively worse through the weekend. And a lot of people.
Shrooms and edibles. I don't think that's drugs that he's,
who knows, but I'm glad that he understands that it was so bad that he does need to course correct. I'm just curious because Madison said at that reunion, the first part of I thought he was going to say he was going to rehab because that seemed to be in the conversation. And then he didn't do that, but he posted on his Instagram that I think he went to Costa Rica for some kind of wellness retreat. And then he put a product code at the end of his Instagram post, which is, never the best sign when you're trying to promote another health facility if you're trying to get better.
He's sponsored by the health facility.
He was he was surfing and his body was paced like a mud bath, and he was like, "This has been so amazing for my mind and my soul." And I do want him to if Shep was sober and he could kick ass. I truly believe that.
Well, think about all of the opportunities that he has been given in life. He was born into $100 million family. He, was always good looking and charming and, comes across as intelligent. And I think he's, realizing that he has made nothing of his life. And then here are Craig and Austin, who don't come from like that pedigree, that have somehow, saying that Austin has like surpassed him is with his podcast, I guess, sure. He has something, but like, I don't know.
Imagine Shep's being jealous of a podcast. Like, imagine that. Imagine that Shep is so low.
That Austin and Craig are now opening their own TomTom. Well,
that's a story I was given today that I was going to talk to everybody about. This is great, you guys, is that Shep and Austin, I wish they would actually include, Austin and Craig are now opening their own place in Charleston, which is going to be like a TomTom. And I mean, what do you think of this? Because they have like a little place in New York they opened. Did you see that place?
Oh yeah, Carriage House. But
yeah,
I feel
they have
like
Carriage House.
I haven't been to I feel like I do need to do some reconnaissance and go check it out. And I live in New York, so I have no excuse. But I think that they're just investors in Carriage House. I don't think they're actually the owners. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know about that, but this one, if they're partnering with Uptown Hospitality Group on a fresh concept called By the Way. The neighborhood tavern is set to open midsummer, just around the corner from the company's flagship location, Uptown Social, on the city's famous King Street.
What if they called it Craig?
little Craig, little Craig's bar, or what? Or Austin, 6'3".
I'm 6'3", by the way.
No women have complaints about my sexual prowess. That would be a great name for a bar that Austin started. Okay, you watched the second part of the Southern Charm reunion. Can you argue, I was talking about this on Friday, at this point, can we even argue that it's a show not about these men? It's all centered around those three men. And JT, who I thought made some really good inroads, JT eventually is going to have to kiss the ring of Austin to actually get in that friend group. Or how do you see Southern Charm continuing past this point?
I mean, I personally am a JT apologist.
I love JT too.
I know he has his flaws, but I thought I like seeing him go against the grain,
Yeah.
I just think it's so funny. Austin, the way that he gets under his skin, and Austin's set up your chihuahua already, Taylor. What? It's so funny. But I don't know. But you're right. I mean, it does center around those guys, but that literally is just Southern Charm season after season, is women fighting over Austin.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really is kind of the main storyline. And Austin revealed on Watch What Happens Live that he is in a relationship right now from somebody outside of Charleston. So, yeah.
Wait, Austin admitted that?
Austin admitted that on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh my God, I didn't watch.
Yeah, it was actually it was a good episode. It was Leva, Craig, and Austin. And the thing is, they all seem like good, fun guys that you would want to hang out with. But Austin kind of just... It's almost like he's yeah, I'm here to get my lashing. So he just sits there. He tries not to argue too much. But JT is that kind of thorn in his side because JT nails him to the wall with very specific information. And JT is right. It's just that a lot of people hate JT for being a nag.
Right. And I feel like Austin, I think it's so funny. This is the first time I'm hearing, when Trump found out that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, hearing of it.
Wait, this is what made you think, of Trump and Ruth Bader Ginsburg? Amazing.
No, but I feel like learning that Austin is in a relationship, I think that he probably is taking a hard look at himself and being how can I avoid the path that Shep has gone down? I feel like he actually has enough wherewithal and self-awareness to be I do not want to actually turn into Shep, because that was a big conversation at the reunion, is how Austin has turned into Shep and he's going down that same road. And I think that Austin is how can I, getting into a relationship, starting a family, having those things that Shep has kind of resisted, which has landed him to be where he is today, which is a perpetual sad frat boy bachelor,
Well, you know what I think Austin has on his side is that he keeps Craig close. I think Craig is the key at this point.
Yeah.
People's sanity, whether you like, it's like Craig has actually made the appropriate adjustments. And that's why the Watch What Happens Live was so interesting, because Andy was like, yeah, everybody loves you now, Craig. And Craig was like, listen, I tend to fall apart every 3 years. So I'm trying not to believe the hype and just like trying not to fall apart. And I think that's a fascinating observation, is that Craig even realizes at this point, like, this could all, like, people liking me could go away tomorrow, but like, I'm in love with Craig Conover right now. Like, and this is bad. This happened last time with Tom Sandoval, so I got to really be careful about this, but I love that man.
Give him one more season of Winter House. Give him just.
Oh, wait, Sophie, I got another news story. Demois reported and people confirmed that Winter House is on pause. You will not see new Winter House in 2024. Yeah. No new Winter House.
Oh my God. I love Winter House.
Yeah, but okay. But see, this is, we kind of had this disagreement last time you talked about Winter House, because I just thought, I like all of these people, but together you had the Danielle Alex relationship that was kind of crazy. You had the Corey Sam relationship with Sam went on Not Skinny But Not Fat this week and confirmed that they are broken up with. Good for you, Sam, for doing what you needed to do for yourself, because he wasn't going to end that thing. But if they're not going to like play into, like, you know, Corey and Sam weren't even in Summer House this season. Like, how did that happen?
And there goes Corey's Bravo career.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Sophie. Is that like Corey? Is he done now? Like, or are they going to pull him back? If Winter House is done, Summer House he's not on. Where else is Corey going to fit in?
Well, I think a big reason, and I don't know for sure, but I would assume a big reason why Summer House didn't invite Corey back was because it came out that he was liking a lot of transphobic shit on Instagram. He had some problematic likes and stuff on social media. And Sam was like collateral damage of that because they were dating at the time. And also, I guess she revealed on Not Skinny But Not Fat that the reason she wasn't invited to Winter House is because she was in a relationship with Corey and they wanted more of like a singles vibe, which is what I loved about Winter House, by the way. I thought it was so fun that there was like, you know, hookups and like, you know, I thought that was fun.
Well, also they, you know, Sam
alone in that opinion.
No, but Sam pointed out too, is that the producers kind of held information from her and said, yeah, we want you to come down, knowing that they were going to, you know, have this Corey thing potentially blow up. I still think though, Corey and Sam going into Winter House together would have been kind of interesting because Corey would have to keep facing those issues on camera. And I think Sam, we would see the dissolution of that relationship, which is painful in real life, but sometimes really interesting to watch go down, because I wanted to also ask you what you thought of that Summer House trailer where we saw our first glimpses of Lindsay and Carl and all that go shit.
Yeah, I mean that trailer. Ooh, I think they edited it so dramatically, and it was so like, oh yeah, how Carl was like, she's gonna say that she's blindsided, and then
cut to her on her phone with her dad. I'm being blindsided right now, Dad.
I'm blindsided, and I think we probably are going to see, you know, why this, you know, breakup occurred. Obviously, like I think based on that they were having a lot of issues leading up to it. Shows, you know, them fighting throughout the summer and some of these like big fights that they were, again, it's a trailer, like who knows what's like, you know, what do they call it? Franken
edit, Franken cut or Franken edit,
edit or whatever it is. But like, yeah, I think that in the long run, it's going to become even clearer that Carl did them both a favor.
Well, yeah, I mean, but also when you're in love with somebody, you're going to ignore sometimes those big warning signs because you're so invested in it. And I think on Lindsay's defense, when you are actually planning a wedding and you're doing that right now, when you are getting close to that, you're not thinking that he's going to leave. You're thinking that like, this is guaranteed. If we're actually planning this and we're putting money down and people are buying tickets to go to this, then this is, for all said and done, it's happening. Weddings are a stressful period of time to plan. So I still feel bad for Lindsay, but I do think that it's good of Carl that he's kept low, he's laid low, and he didn't pull the Tom Sandoval. You know, Carl didn't come out with a podcast and a karaoke band.
Right. Wait, what's Raquel's podcast called again?
Rachel Goes Rogue.
Yeah, like what if Carl was like, Carl goes crazy.
Carl goes crazy. That's actually great. But that's amazing. I want to go back to Southern Charm really quick too, for a second though. Is Vanita said something great, and I wish there was more of Vanita, but it's all like, how do you fit all of these storylines into those three core men? Vanita kind of even stepped up to Austin too and said, hey, listen, if you're talking to your parents and your family about dating, you got to be fucking. So where do you land at the end of the season on Austin and Taylor potentially doing the hippity dippity? Do you think they did or didn't?
I maintain that whether it was sex or not, they did more than make out. Like it would be a non-conversation if they had only kissed or made out. Like I really think that let your imagination, like, I don't know, was it a BJ?
I don't want to picture them doing things. I'm not going to let my imagination go.
Was it a 69 situation?
Oh, stop it. It was not a... Stop
but
it.
There's no way it was just a make out. And I know that, to them, because they had that kind of convincing, like, we did not have sex. But it's like, maybe you didn't have the P and the B type of sex, but...
Wait, you're talking about the Farrah Abraham teen mom sort of sex where, remember, Farrah Abraham was like very Christian and like all this stuff. So, there was interviews where it was like a lot of the people at her school, they didn't want to disrespect God. So they were doing it in the butt area. Yeah.
That's what the Christian girls at my high school would do too.
Yeah, we're getting into soaking. Wait, what if they soaked? What if Olivia, what if Taylor and Austin's like, we're soaked. I wasn't a jump pumper. That was a random person. But no, it is wild because it seems like they're going to take this secret to the grave. But at the end of the day, how do you break down the Olivia Taylor thing? Because Olivia says, I will not be friends with you. I wish you well. I'm so sorry about your brother, but this cannot be fixed. And I will say, I am kind of shocked about Taylor's behavior. I was always making excuses because I know that she must have gone through really like just torture having, the Shep relationship in, because I know she was deeply in love with him. But it seems like it really was a warpath for destruction with Taylor.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I understand. I know that there are a lot of people being like, well, why is Austin off the hook? And like, she's only mad at Taylor. It's because she had no expectations. Like, you expect Austin to be a piece of shit. It's kind of like just what you expect from him. And I can understand the betrayal goes deeper when it's one of your girlfriends, for sure. And my other question is, I don't buy the Olivia story about her bra.
So you think Austin just inspires all of these women to lie and make up stories in efforts?
You know what it is, though. So like the bra thing, because first of all, if he's like, oh, here's your bra, like I could believe that someone would, you take off your bra while watching a movie, like whatever. That's a very normal thing to do. But the fact that he was like, here's your bra, and she's like, just throw it out. Like, bras are expensive. You wouldn't wait 2 seconds. Like, your Uber can wait. Like, that just didn't make sense to me. And then I was like, why would Olivia feel the need to lie? And I think it's because she didn't want to act like she was still, again, letting Austin off the hook in a way that she wasn't letting Taylor off the hook. And also because she was like kind of dating Rod at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What you're saying, though, at the end of the day, is that we need to collect this bra and get DNA evidence off of it. That's what you're saying.
Where's the bra?
By the way, you're in Charleston. Would love if you could actually get the bra while you're there. Get your mom on it. Like, your mom is probably a great detective herself. We could actually I don't know. Like, I just think it's interesting that it is all revolving around Austin, and then you have Madison there, and Madison has been there, done that. I'm just curious how this show keeps going when it's the core men, and Shep seems like on the outer circle of that. Like, somebody needs to throw this guy a podcast or something. I just want to know how they continue on past this. And I made a post last week that really upset people about, do you want or do you think Thomas Ravenel should come back on the show? And people I've never seen people like come out like that of like, fuck. And by the way, I had forgotten some of the accusations against Thomas Ravenel. I forgot about the housekeeper. I forgot about that.
How dare you even put that into the universe?
I want to tell you, I wasn't the one that put it out in the universe, and and when I can talk about it, I'll let you know why I put that out in the universe. But that's my, I also just did a Sunday Scaries post with him and Ashley. Cause remember that kook, Ashley?
Oh my, don't even get
I Eternal Sunshine that. I forgot about her completely. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, those Ashley scenes were wild.
That was a time. What an era. I wonder how Danny's doing, by the way. She's too good for this show.
Oh, yeah, Dan. See there. Well, and who was the awesome person, the hairdresser?
Chelsea.
Chelsea was amazing too. And Chelsea had a Austin flirtation, remember?
Yes, that was a whole thing too. You know what's interesting about Shep? So like going back to whatever happened at BravoCon, I think it must have been maybe like, do you think that maybe Bravo execs or they were like, something, his standing on the show was threatened? I don't know. It's like, what really, like, what was the impetus for this, to put it in Shep terminology? What really was the impetus for this? You know, it just like, there are so many blackouts that Shep blacks out every night.
Yeah. Like, cause Sophie was going like, there had to have been something really, 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 really bad.
And it's not like Shep. I just think it's interesting because we know Shep doesn't need the money from the show. He's so different from like so many other Bravo celebrities in that like that's their main source of income. Shep doesn't need the money, but he needs like the attention, I feel like.
But also that's what shows you sometimes being extremely wealthy from the get-go can lead to this empty. I'm like telling it to myself because I'm not rich, but like there's an emptiness that eventually sets in because you can travel the world, you can be an adventurer, you can sleep with tons of beautiful women, but at the end of the day, you know, you're going to be kind of potentially alone. And as you get older, your body's not going to work the same way, and it gets lonely. I mean, it gets
like what are your goals and hobbies? You know,
he probably doesn't have goals. He just has hobbies.
Exactly. But like, what are his hobbies even besides drinking?
Know.
Name them. Name them.
Shep, name them.
Seriously, it's so true. It's just like, and you know that especially with like getting women and picking up chicks. Like he's not. Look at how he looked 10 years ago. He's looking, and that's not just from aging, by the way. People age, and a lot of most men get better looking with age.
Thank you. Heyo.
Like I feel like him being on the show, that's how he, you know.
I saw him on the reunion. I just wanted to moisturize him. I just wanted to slather on a bunch of moisturizer, you know?
And like do like a face roller, like a guava, or not a guava, gua sha, a guava. Like, you know, like do like a little like ice bath or something for his face. He's just like so swollen, so puffy.
Well, and that's where Austin is puffy too, but Austin still has that young skin. Austin still has that and I'm telling you, Craig is the key. But I don't think Shep can fully kiss Craig's ring yet. Like Shep is still because Shep used to bully Craig a lot. Yeah. And I think Shep still finds it hard to believe that Craig, in doing all the things that he finally set out to do, has surpassed Shep. He never thought this would happen. And I just think it's a really fascinating thing. So I'm just curious how you go into next season, you know, and especially with the women, you know, how this all works. And I really want JT to come back, but there has to be, he's going to have to make up with Austin in some way for that to happen, I believe.
Yeah. And like, what is Taylor? Is Taylor going to be back?
Well, okay, like, that's the other, the last thing about
everyone.
Well, everybody said, even on Watch What Happens Live, but even on the actual reunion, they all said, listen, Shep, I bet if you get better, you and Taylor will wind up married. Taylor has a new boyfriend. Taylor's had a boyfriend since past BravoCon. Imagine being this dude and watching like TV where everybody's like, you guys are going to get back together and get married. Like that would be wild.
His name is Gaston.
Of course it is. Of course it's Gaston. Taylor reminds me of a potential Disney adult too.
Oh, for sure. For sure. She's a Disney adult. Duh.
That's the only thing that's stopping her, though, not being in Los Angeles, because a lot of the cast of Vanderpump Rules are Disney adults.
That's true. That's true.
They have like year-long like Jax Taylor lives at Disneyland.
He does. Him and Brittany. Which by the way.
Well, that's where we're going to get to the Valley.
We need to talk about that trailer.
Yeah.
What? Okay, so if you haven't watched that trailer yet, just like pause and go watch it, which I'm sure.
Okay, so she's talking about, there's a new trailer that came out. I talked about it briefly on the show on Thursday, I think on the Salt Lake recap, is that they finally, at the premiere, said they finally showed the first look of The Valley, which is the Vanderpump Rules spinoff led by Jax Taylor and Brittany. But then you have Janet Elizabeth and Jason Caperna. Janet, I'm friends with Janet. She's been on the show before. She knows, like, she's really good friends with Ariana, good friends with Scheana. But then you have a couple other couples that I'm not fully aware of. But Jax Taylor is leading this show. That's what the trailer makes it look like. And it's a silly trailer. We don't see any footage. We just see him driving like this kid's Mercedes, and you think he's like in a real car.
That? Like, what's like the punchline with that? Why is he doing that? Why is he wearing like gloves? Why?
Well, you know, because I think the bit of the thing was he supposedly is probably in like a Ferrari and he's doing racing gloves, and then you realize he's in a little kid's car and he's trying to be an adult. That's the bit.
Good one. Good one. He looked so scary, and I loved everyone being like, "Who the fuck asked for this?" Like, literally no one is excited.
Okay,
for
but Sophie, this is where I'm going to push back, because listen, if it's a good show, we will all dig it. Like, it's all going to like, but we always do this we shit on everything before we see it, and I get it. But at the same time, guys, Scandival was so big that we all kind of did ask for this, because then Bravo and NBC Universal was like, what else can we do in the Vanderpump Rules universe? Jax has been trying to get back on forever. So of course this was going to be like, but it depends if whatever footage they shot, whatever the storylines are, it's going to die and fall. It's going to, like, you know, either succeed or lose on that stuff. But this trailer wasn't that funny. It didn't give us a clear picture of what it was. But also, I do want to tell, I was right again. I predicted this like 6 months ago, is that it got confirmed. Alex Baskin, the EP over at Evolution, said the connecting scene, because it's going to air after Vanderpump Rules towards the finale.
Trailer.
I said that there's going to be a connecting scene like Beverly Hills was into Vanderpump Rules originally. I thought it was going to be with Scheana, but it actually was with Jax and Tom. And then you're going to have Jax drive over to the Valley, and it's going to start the second hour of that night in the Valley.
Golly.
Golly,
just like,
she willikers.
Even just seeing them in a trailer. Kristen, I know that Kristen was fired too.
Yeah.
But like, they were fired for a reason. Jax and Brittany fired for a reason. And also people just had it with them. Like, people were sick of watching them. And I love the fact that Jax went out the way he did, which was that COVID reunion where he was like, Charli was like calling him like old and washed up and irrelevant. And I love that for him, for us. And now he's getting his own show. Like, it just feels like we're like rewarding him. And I hate that.
Yeah, but Sophie, don't we reward all realities? Like, even with the Housewives, you can make this same argument, is that we reward kind of people that can be devious. Yeah, I mean, we've rewarded Tamra. We've rewarded, like, we reward people.
You know what's so funny, though, is that Jax was always like, I'm a dad now. Like, I don't have
I don't want to go back. It's toxic.
Yeah, I don't have time for reality TV. It's just, like, not where I'm at in life anymore. And all it took was him, like, the first offer. He's like, yeah, first. Like,
well, that's my fear, though. To make a good show, he could potentially risk that beautiful family. That's my fear.
Oh God.
Because he's gonna want. I don't know, but we'll see. I just feel like it'll really depend on the quality of the show. Before that.
Also, some of the comments saying that his face was like pulled so tight, and I was like, that's what it is. Like, we know that he's been like looking like, you know, uncanny for a bit now, but like it really is like his face was pulled too tight.
Well, we know he's had scenes on Vanderpump Rules where him and Sandoval, they all went to like Botox appointments and all of this stuff. He's always like groomed himself in a certain medical way. It's just that it's affected his eyebrows, so he looks like a villain. He looks like the eyebrow.
Yeah, with like the black gloves on. I was like, ugh.
Dexter. Oh my God, he's going to kill people in the valley.
Dexter, I love your work.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be an amazing actual we all think it's going to be about family in the valley, but it's actually Jax raising his family, but at night he's a serial killer. And he's like in his man cave. It's his kill shop. Like, by the way, I'm going to probably get hate mail for this, but wouldn't that be great if like that is the storyline is Jax is on the loose?
Jaxter, and he like has tarp in his garage.
Oh, also Rachel on Rachel Goes Rogue, the Rachel Leviss podcast. It's 2 episodes in. And by the way, I listened to the first episode at 1.75 speed, and it was actually doable for me. But I just recommend that for anybody because everybody says it's such a slow pace. But she revealed what we all knew this episode was that Schwartz knew from the very beginning. Schwartz knew about her and Sandoval from after the very first night. The next day, Schwartz knew, which somebody said, I think Amy Field, who is awesome. She said, you guys need to make shirts that says Schwartz knew, because Schwartz knew from the very beginning. And I thought, like, of course he did. He's always going to protect Sandoval. But like, I just find that interesting that they still went ahead with that storyline of Rachel and Schwartz kissing at Scheana's wedding.
Oh, I didn't even think of that part. I was just thinking, like the betrayal to Ariana because, but
no, but that's like how mush their brains are, is that they're like, oh, this was still, like Rachel said, oh yeah, I thought I was kind of excited it'd be a good storyline, and I could kind of see, and I think part of her was trying to make Tom jealous as well because he wasn't like really making decisions. But I just think that's really, really wild to finally even hear more about this.
Schwartz was just like playing along.
Yeah. I mean, I also think Rachel, I was kind of like, oh, good, Rachel, for not coming back. Good for your mental health. But I don't think starting a podcast was really smart either. Because if you're going to tell all this shit, then you should have just gotten paid more and gone to Vanderpump Rules and faced the music. Wouldn't it have been so much better to get that information in front of Schwartz with a scene with Rachel where she's like, you knew from the beginning, Schwartz, you knew from the beginning. Like, that would be an amazing scene.
And be able to like flip the narrative a little bit for herself.
On a bigger platform than a podcast.
Right. Like a podcast. Yeah. Yeah,
it's weird.
Isn't the theme of this episode that literally every man on Bravo is like a sociopath?
Dude, wait, no, we're all sociopaths. I'm a sociopath. Like, dude, all of us, we're all suspect. It's all fucked. Like, we make the stupidest decisions. And then what happens with Bravo, though? Bravo then injects money and pseudo celebrity into it. So it's even worse. Like, these people then are addicted. Like, and also the women out there and even some of the guys, like, it doesn't matter that they're fuck ups. You guys will still sleep with them and hit on them. It's exciting that they're on TV.
Right. You know what I keep thinking about is that when JT was on Watch What Happens Live, they were like, how was BravoCon? He was like, like 6 months ago, I was just a normal guy. And now look at me. I'm a celebrity. Like, saying that at BravoCon, they really make you feel like you're. Yeah.
He said the best year of his life, he said.
Yeah, he was like 6 months ago, it's just a regular guy. It's like, you're still not getting recognized anywhere. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, but it's, it is exciting. I mean, like, it's really nice, though, to have, like, because think about normal life. You don't have people, just random strangers saying, hey, good job, I saw you on TV. There's a natural excitement that I think is worn off for some of those people. And then some of the people, they get addicted to it. And that's what we always see, the housewives fighting to get back on their franchises.
Ryan, you've definitely gotten like recognized in real life, though.
Oh my God, Sophie, totally. Can I tell you that this is so crazy? My dad was in town last week, and we were driving somewhere on like Tuesday or something, and I was taking this back road, and there was like this construction, and this car almost ran right into me trying to turn, and I was so shocked. And then the lady goes, Ryan Bailey. And and my dad was with me, and I was like, oh fuck, what did I do? I thought I hit her or something. And it was like, she's like, I listened to your podcast. Oh my God. I was like, and my dad, it made me look so cool or sad to my dad, either cool or sad. But my dad was like, no way. So cool. And I was like, my dad, Bill Bailey's in the car with me. And I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
That is amazing. No. And you know what? And that has never happened to me. I've had people be like, I think I just saw your boyfriend at Trader Joe's or something. Like, he was like wearing a Bengals hat or something just from like following me. But the other day I was walking Baxter with my friend and her dog, and there was like a group of girls being like, oh my God, can we pet your dogs? Because her dog is a puppy also. And one of them said, I think I follow you on Twitter. You just got engaged, right? And I was like, oh my God, that's never. I was like having the worst week too. I was like, you just made my week. That's never happened. And you just made me look so cool in front of my friend.
See, there is something really nice about that. So that's the kind of thing that like probably to a million times when you're actually on a TV show, and it can be really alluring. It can probably fuck with your perception of reality in real life. And especially like JT, he's not been on this show. He's just been on this show for 1 year. So he's probably loving it right now until it comes around and the second season if he's on, something bad will come out about him and he'll be miserable.
Right, exactly. By the way, whoever came up with the idea of BravoCon at Bravo, like needs to be a billionaire. That is such a smart idea because not only are you bringing in like an experiential event where like the talent is basically free because it's written into their contracts, you're making so much money from experiential events like this, and it's starting to cause like actual like drama on the shows. Like what happens at BravoCon?
It feeds into the storylines.
Yeah, it's like the breaking the fourth wall and like a new character on the show is BravoCon.
Well, I was talking to Maritza about this because she was saying she had heard a rumor that it wasn't going to happen this year because of the Olympics. And I had heard that it definitely was happening because...
What do the Olympics have to do with BravoCon?
Well, because of NBC Universal who are doing the Olympics and like they might be spread too thin or something. Yeah, what is... Because the Olympics are on Bravo now and they're doing...
In Paris.
No,
Bravo.
Well, but I told her, I said, listen... NBC Universal and Peacock, like it all feeds into one thing because they're going to pump advertisement. Like if you're at BravoCon and they're going to pump advertisement for all of their other products, it's all advertising because then.
And guys, this shit makes so much money. Like an event like BravoCon where tickets are, I know the VIP tickets especially are in the hundreds. Like
in the hundreds, so he's 1,000.
In the thousands. Exactly. Oh my God. I didn't even know VIP tickets were in the thousands. Jesus Christ.
No, 1,000, not thousands, but 1,000. That's pretty big.
Just 1,000 singular.
Well, I spent $50 on Scheana Shay's Good as Gold vinyl. So like money is being raked in there.
Exactly. Like, whew.
Okay. Wow. So Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We had our second part of the reunion this week. The third and final part is this week. Where are you with Salt Lake City right now?
I mean, it's just been like the Monty. Obviously, there was like the Mary Cosby cameo, which was fun. I did enjoy her at the reunion, and I'm not someone that I saw something that said they're all getting brought back. Including Mary getting a full-time contract again. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't think that Mary really like serves. So like she's comedic relief, I guess, but like
no, she was in an insurance policy, if nothing more, for this season, and they didn't really need her. And also, if you're not going to bring Monica back, there's no reason to bring Mary back. And here, I mean, where are you at right now with Monica coming back? Where are you at, wanting or not wanting?
I mean, I understand both sides of it. I lean more towards, I think that she's like actually a terrifying person. Like she actually really scares me. She's a stalker. I know that we're internet trolls to an extent, but the shit she was doing and just like ingratiating herself into this group that she had been like cyber stalking and cyberbullying is so creepy to me. Like it just like she gives me the creeps. And I think the way that she so easily lies and the way that she was so easily lying on the reunion about stuff that doesn't matter, like her email to Bravo, like that scares me. Like I think, I know we throw around the word sociopath like I just did, but like there's something not right up there, and I think that she's like actually a scary person. And I know that the season would have been nothing without her. And
No.
But
no, listen, I think and by the way, the show does a good job of showing us all of her issues thus far with her mom, her dad, like everything was not going well for Monica, but I think you have to like add more context to this because the email to Bravo, listen, there are probably emails from all of those ladies at some point, including Heather Gay in the very beginning of really wanting to be on this show. And also everybody at this point, Dorinda Medley said this on her radio show last week, is that everybody at this point are going to be fans of these shows before they get on the show. You're going to be very like hard pressed to find people that are not aware of the Housewives at this point. So but she did take it as even a step further. The thing that creeps me out that's going to be revealed on the third part is that, you know, she did have access to Jen Shah's cameras
Yes.
inside the house. Now that
That's
actually
so
even
fucking
takes it to
scary.
another, but also where the fuck still is Jen Shah in all this? Like, I still don't understand why Jen Shah seems like Monica seems to be getting it way worse than Jen Shah ever did. These women still have not stood up to Jen Shah in any sort of real way. But Monica all of a sudden is and by the way, Monica is low level compared to Jen Shah to me.
I think the thing about Jen Shah is that, yes, Jen Shah was like scamming elderly, but no,
but what's cool about her is
Jen Shah's a horrible, disgusting piece of shit. But I think that the thing with Monica is that it was like personally affecting them. Like Jen Shah wasn't scamming them or their parents or their grandparents. Like I feel like they feel personally slighted by Monica in a different way, but I don't know. I feel like it's apples to oranges.
I want to hear why they feel personally affronted by. That's the thing that I'm missing is I want to hear those examples of why they were so scared.
The show didn't show examples. And I think that Reality Von Tease has like scrubbed anything that wasn't Jen Shah related from the account. So it's like, what was Reality Von Tease? Is there an example of Reality Von Tease? Like, what exactly was the account saying about Lisa and Whitney and Meredith? Like, I'm not getting that. Yeah.
And it wasn't even that successful of an account. If we're going to the follower count wasn't even that big by the time it had gotten caught. Like I said, I remember that account. That account follows me. I remember the Jen Shah videos, and I didn't really think anything of it except that Jen Shah is a horrible person because that's what I remember seeing from that account. Now, let me break some news to everybody out there. Now, this is from a source that has never led me astray. This person is the one that told me Anna Marie Wiley was going to be the new cast member on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I am hearing that, and I think you're going to hear this announcement probably after the finale this week or next week. Monica will not be coming back to the show. By the way, I personally hope I'm wrong, but I do have they've already are deep into casting, and I do have a name. I'm going to hold one name, and then I will. So the one person that I can tell you will be on the show next season on Salt Lake City. I'm just going to give is a girl named. Wait 1 sec. Is a girl named Brittany. Brittany is going to Brittany. I'm not going to give the last name, but Brittany is going to be a cast member on Salt Lake City, and the other cast member is somebody extremely wealthy who is very into fashion, makes Dorit look like a pauper, has like a clothing, like a closet that is probably not to be believed. So I do know, this is from a source I really do trust, but I'm going to hold the second name until a couple weeks. I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I have been told Monica is not coming back and they've moved on with casting. So, and by the way, if you even hear Meredith Marks' interviews over at Sundance this weekend, she even keeps saying, like, I don't want Monica back. I do not think Monica is going to come back.
And that makes sense to me. I feel like that's the most, let it be just like this iconic capsule of a season. Where else do they go with her? Like, I don't know. And again, it's like, it's hard to avoid Housewives fans, but when you're casting, but I think it's easy to avoid people that A, are as creepy as Monica and as weird as she is, and B, desperately need the show in the way that Monica clearly was so desperate for it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but desperate. I feel like they're all desperate to some degree. I feel like
but think about like Lisa Vanderpump and Heather Dubrow.
Well, okay, desperation doesn't just come financially. Desperation is also ego. It's also attention.
Doesn't need it financially. He's the perfect example, but needs the attention and like the celebrity.
So I do know these two women, and I do believe filming is going to be starting sooner rather than later. And I'll try to keep you updated as soon as I get the go ahead.
The ratings were like really high by the end of the season.
And especially when you factor in Peacock with that, everybody was watching it over on Peacock.
Yeah.
So it did great. And I'm glad that we got over, it was great to have finally something past, he's a one with the mustache. And now we've got receipts, timeline. Like, it's great to have different catch lines for different franchises.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I just love picturing Jen Shah seething
livid
behind bars. It's like that meme. I don't even know what it's from, but is it Jessica Lange in American Horror Story, maybe, where she's like, ah! You know what I mean?
Are you talking about the Mommy Dearest meme?
No, it's not the Mommy Dearest meme, but she's just, that she's seething, and I love that.
Because, listen, even us as an audience, we all thought this was going to fail, so the fact that it actually succeeded even way more than Jen Shah ever succeeded, that's got to really, I hope that actually makes her come to Jesus.
Her previous unpaid assistant, who, is the one that reported her to the FBI, was starring in this season. That's crazy.
The reason why I wanted Monica back, though, I wanted her to be able to answer more questions than we were going to get answers to on the third part of the reunion, because we're not going to get everything answered. And my thing was let her hang herself even more. And also, I still have questions about how much Heather knew and when. And by the way, that doesn't matter either, because Heather was in the right to call it out, obviously, and it made great television. But I think Heather at this point is Queen Bee of Salt Lake. Even though she pissed and pooped herself on that Sprinter van, she is still Queen Bee on Salt Lake now. She raised...
I think you're right, for sure, that there was some sort, she knew more than she was letting on earlier than she was letting on.
But in terms of relationship...
there needs to be a Rossless. I'm pronouncing Real Houses of Salt Lake City. There needs to be
a Rosla?
A Rosla, movie. Which, by the way, not
a
to
Lifetime movie.
Well, yeah, but also not to pivot. I saw The Iron Claw last week.
Oh, I hear it's amazing. Zac Efron.
It was so good, you guys. And yes, it's sad, but yeah, it's sad. But it also, has its uplifting moments in a way. So I highly recommend it. Zac Efron, first of all, I know that his face is distractingly deformed now.
It's not distracting. I still think he's still better looking than 99% of men out there.
I'm not saying he's no longer good looking, but
it's different.
It's distractingly deformed in a way.
It's Jax Taylor?
No, in a different way. It's his jaw and it's something, he's so thick. And it works for this movie because he plays this bulked up wrestler. So it works. I think otherwise, don't put him in a period piece. Hollywood, it's not going to work.
I don't think they were rushing to put him into Bridgerton. I don't think they were Downton Abbey with Zac Efron.
But I think that if he doesn't get nominated for this movie, it'll be a travesty. I thought he was that good in this movie. He really was.
This is actually, because I've been talking about awards season a lot in the past couple of weeks on the show, and the Oscar ballots for nominations, the deadline was last Tuesday. So it was this really tail end, push for Zac Efron. So there's a Hail Mary pass to potentially get a nomination, but it's going to be an uphill climb because it didn't even make the SAG awards. He wasn't even nominated, which pissed me off because I was hoping to get the screener for Iron Claw and it wasn't nominated. So I didn't get the screener.
They needed to do a better job of the campaign of pushing him for this Oscar because he truly, truly deserves it. And Jeremy Allen White was really good too. So
yeah, by the way, he just won Best Actor.
I have the Chiefs Bills game on.
What's the score?
It's 26-24 Chiefs, but the Chiefs are probably about to get a extra point, so it's probably going to be.
How many shots is Taylor playing on the field?
It just showed Taylor when. I was talking to my mom about it, by the way, and Amy, as we all know, has her opinions about pop culture.
Amy should have her own show.
The comment that she left on E! News' Instagram about how they needed to stop posting B-listers like Sarah Hyland and the Jonas Brothers, and it was on a photo. And I posted a screenshot of that, and it went viral, and then people were yelling at my mom for calling Priyanka Chopra a B-list, which I didn't realize.
Welcome to the internet, Amy.
But she was like, if Taylor rolled her eyes at Joe Coy, which his monologue was awful, and he made a joke at her expense that wasn't even funny. But my mom was like, she's rolling her eyes. If she didn't want the attention, didn't want to be on camera, she doesn't have to be in the front of the suite. Like, she knows she's going to be on camera, and she is right there.
Yeah, but listen, if you're raised in that spotlight, you're going to always go in that spotlight. You're always that's part of the show.
It's true. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. It's just like, she likes the attention, and, Joe Coy, if the joke had been funny, that'd be one thing, but it wasn't funny. So,
Joe Coy just didn't land any of those jokes, even though that one actually, I did get the joke, but unfortunately, the one funny joke he had, Taylor hated it. Also, wait, so Travis Kelce's brother is Jason Kelce. He's at the game. And I saw just before we started recording a shot of him with his shirt off at the Chiefs game. Is Taylor taking her shirt off yet at the Chiefs game?
Not yet. But
wouldn't it be great if she ruins it now with she totally gets butt naked in the suite and just loses it? And kids are like, Mommy, what?
She gets Shep at BravoCon level fucked up.
Yeah. Wait, what did Taylor do at the playoffs? Why is everybody saying it's so bad? They cut cameras. What did she do?
She gets kicked out of the stadium.
And then Blake Lively won't hang out with her anymore. And the Haim sisters are too far, Taylor. We're not going to go over this cliff with you.
We're not going to go to your lunch.
Yeah, we're not going to do this, Taylor. I actually so this is how much is Super Bowl next week? When do we get the Super Bowl?
No. So this is the divisional round. So the winner of this game will face the Ravens in the conference championship. And then the winner of the conference championship, that's the AFC championship versus the NFC championship. The winners of those go to the Super Bowl.
I'm sorry, I just blacked out. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I know, I'm sorry.
Wait, but also just preparing you for the Super Bowl where it's not Rihanna, but it's Usher. And Usher did a press conference this week where he said he's going to bring back old school R&B to the Super Bowl halftime show, which does that mean because every time I see Usher performing live, he's dry humping somebody on stage. Do you think Usher is going to fully dry hump people?
I'm so excited for that. And I'm so excited they're leaning into nostalgia.
I love it.
So nostalgic and I love it. And you know what? I had mentioned this on Twitter the other day, but I feel just people our age, the thing that Gen Z doesn't have is we didn't have aux cords or Spotify playlists when we were driving around in high school. We had CDs and the radio station. And so everyone listened to the same radio. So songs Poker Face by Lady Gaga or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We all knew the songs, Usher and Love in This Club by Usher. We all knew the same songs because we had no choice but to listen to the same radio. And now it's so there's never going to be another Beyonce or Lady Gaga.
We talk about that all the time, how there's not going to be any movie stars because everything is so different from what it used to be. And we just have to accept it. But we can have fun while it's still here and lean into that nostalgia. Usher, by the way, I always love Usher because Usher has so many songs about being in the club. This Usher loves being in a club. He makes but that's what I'm saying. If you go to a club with Usher, it must just be an off the wall experience because he respects being in the club so much. Also, Sophie, I hate to bring as we start nearing the end here, I hate to bring this down. It's such a somber moment here. I do want to talk about somebody that meant a great deal to me that is no longer with us as of this past week. Because we got news that Che Diaz is no longer in And Just Like That. Che Diaz is done. Did you hear this, Sophie?
I fucking hate you.
Che Diaz is done.
I hate you. The way that my whole body was racing. Oh my.
You're like, he's talking about his mom again. Oh no. Yeah.
Oh my God, Che Diaz. Yeah, and I love how Che Diaz, Sarah Ramirez is going out in the most Che Diaz way possible.
I don't know where Che Diaz ends and Sarah Ramirez begins. It seems very similar in how they actually operate.
There was some what was it? Che Diaz on some magazine interview. Remember we talked about it months ago. Where Sarah Ramirez's answers were so Che-like that we were all
I think it was a New York Magazine article or something, or Vulture,
Cut or something. And Che Diaz is saying, or Sarah Ramirez is saying, that it's because they support Palestine or they are a very vocal pro-Palestine supporter, but at the same time, Cynthia Nixon has been extremely vocally pro-Palestine. And you could argue that maybe like it's because Cynthia Nixon has, you know, a more secure standing on the show because she is a main cast member. But it's like, it just seems very like Che being like, I'm being silenced.
Well, this was so what's so funny is that she's, you know, they said they were being silenced. And then there was like a source that said, the source like immediately responded and they made an article said, no, Che Diaz was just a waste of airtime. And that Che Diaz wasn't, that a Che Diaz was an annoying character. Now, this really is throwing Sarah Ramirez under the bus in a different way. But at the end of the day, Che Diaz is an annoying character
It's literally like Che Diaz's pilot that didn't get picked up. Everyone was like, we hate Che. Like,
I just feel like bad poor Tony Danza might not. I was hoping to see Tony Danza on another episode next season.
But also, like there is no Che anymore because Miranda and Che broke up. Like, we don't want to see Che like without Miranda. What? Like, no.
Che is off. Che is off finger banging new people in New York. You know. Okay, so that. So say goodbye to one of our favorite characters to talk about, and I believe we're not getting new and just like that until 2025 as well. I hear it's very. God. I hear we're gonna really have to wait for this. Okay, a couple of quick hits. I thought this was kind of funny. Is that in the Kardashian universe, that this is so Kris Jenner. The Kardashians, they shut down Black China and they filed 5 trademarks in Rob's daughter's Dream's name. Like, so they made trademarks for Rob's daughter before Black China could. So they trademarked Dream for all of these like potential product launches under the Dream Kardashian name and shut down Black China. I mean, this is like the modern day mafia. You do not go against the Kardashians.
Exactly. It's like you're trying to go against the Kardashians. You didn't have the street smarts to file the trademark before they could. She should have, when she came up with the name, when she decided to name the child before she told the family, she should have filed it right then and there. Like, now you know. Next time someone tries to have a child with Rob Kardashian, please heed our advice.
And also, just if somebody's trying to have a kid with Rob Kardashian, let us know how that's going. Like, that seems like that seems like a whole thing. It's anyways. So okay, so then also, Kim Kardashian, I thought, did an incredibly tone-deaf thing where she did that like TikTok, Instagram of like, of course I have a tanning bed. It's a lot, like, and showed us all her extreme wealth.
Like, I'm Kim Kardashian. Of course I have a mannequin with my custom measurements. Like, like all this like extravagant stuff she had in like her home or office or wherever it was.
At a certain point, though, I know that like, I know people like that, but I don't know. Like, I hate it. I assume that she has everything. Why do I need to see it?
I mean, like, who is that content for? It's not for me. It's not for you. Like, who enjoys
Well, I'm
that?
guessing maybe the kids. Maybe kids dig it. I don't know.
I guess, kids. The teens think that Kim Kardashian is cool? Well, someone let us know if you have like a teen child or like a sibling. Will you let us know if the teens think Kim Kardashian is cool? Because
Sophie, that's a great thing. If you have kids, will you ask them what they think of Kim Kardashian and how their friends talk about Kim Kardashian and the Kardashians?
It's like no one I know is like consuming and enjoying. I know that like people passively, like I don't follow any of the Kardashians on Instagram anymore. Not to like make a political statement or anything. It's just like I just like don't enjoy their content. So like I'll sometimes stalk them and I'll see.
Oh my God, is there a feud going on between you and the Kardashians? Are they gonna? Am I gonna see an Instagram post where it's like Sophie Ross unfollowed all the Kardashians, and I bet all the Kardashians still follow you though. They don't even know.
They do. No, but I'll see like someone I like respected and like. Liking their posts. And I'm like, I understand people passively will like things on Instagram, but I don't know. I feel like in general, like, who is that content for? I don't know. I don't know who their fans are at this juncture in their career.
It's going to be interesting to see because even like a show like
Monica, did you see that Monica apparently like worships Kim Kardashian? People but like Monica, I guess.
Well, did you see the Kardashian clan was at Kimo Sabi, Kyle Richards' favorite hat store in Aspen? And they look just looked like completely ridiculous done up. But I just thought, like, Kyle Richards sets the trends out there. and everybody else follows them. Quickly, Anna Marie Wiley, the Esophagus Association of America, or the Anesthesiologist Association of America, actually made a graphic calling out Anna Marie Wiley from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, saying, you cannot say that you're this or that. They actually just kind of took her, like they ran her over in the bus. And I think it's really wild that she is not a beloved character on this show. And now she is potentially in trouble with her job. And like a medical association has called her out. Isn't that wild?
How freaking embarrassing is that?
It truly
is humiliating. I'm just like humiliated for her.
I just think she thought this season was going to be a lot different than it was. And everybody, she's just a flop. I mean, it's like if she's going to be one and done. Monica's a great example of a legendary one and done. And she's an example of a flop one and done. Diana Jenkins was better than her.
Right. There are two genres of one and done on Bravo. It's like you have your Monica, you have your Diana Jenkins.
What also, you didn't see this week's episode, but Homeless Not Toothless was featured.
Yes, I saw on Twitter. Yeah,
I saw on Twitter. So they're still doing it. PK was doing it.
Conversation starter. They're still doing it.
But Erica, they had Taylor Dane, an 80s pop star who has an amazing voice, and she started singing, and Erica Jane, in pure Erica Jane fashion, was like, Taylor Dane, love will lead you by. Like she started like yelling, like how she did with Asher at the holiday party last season, where she was like, hug the hair on angel sing. Like she really prides herself a show woman, and I love that about her.
I know that Erica Jane has had her redemption season, apparently. So
well, that's all it takes is just like clearing Denise Richards, which wasn't hard to do, and now everybody loves her again.
Clearing a blackout Denise Richards.
Yeah, it's like any of us could have cleared Denise Richards. Like it was so easy to do.
Okay.
And then also,
like entrance on the show was even funny and embarrassing. She was wearing that like knockoff Giambattista Valli dress, the tulle one with the cinched waist. Yeah. And someone was like, "They still make that dress?" Like she's so embarrassing. It was over the moment she walked in that dress.
I mean, but to keep harping back on an esophagus is so dumb and boring. Like even the producers had to have been like, why do you keep bringing up the esophagus? This is not going to go good. Like, why are you doing this? But it gets great ratings, so it doesn't matter. Also, I just want to let you guys know, Sophie is watching The Traitors, but she's only 2 episodes in. Have you liked The Traitors so far? Because I think it's amazing.
I mean, it's like the best show. Now that Claim to Fame is no longer airing, this is filling the void.
It's really good. They're 4 episodes in. They're only going to air 1 a week from here to March, so you guys can catch up. I'm going to cover it a lot more on the show, I think, because I think it's a great blend. And the 4th episode, Phaedra knocks it out of the park. I'm scared of Phaedra. Like, it's really, really good, and I really recommend it because I think I'm going to start recapping it on the show. And then finally, what else are you watching this week? I know you're busy. Anything stands out for you?
I just love like the British thrillers on Netflix, like the miniseries. Fool Me Once. That was fun.
Okay, so I heard Fool Me Once. I heard the kids from TikTok were all like hopped up on Fool Me Once. It's good?
It's just one of those, like, if you watched Behind Her Eyes, that was another. It's like they're based on like books and they're just like
Fool Me Once and Behind Her Eyes? Who's naming
like
these things?
Murder mystery, and they're all British, and there's a detective who's on the case, who's troubled, who has his own demons.
But you love it.
I love that shit. It's like, you know how like I love Liam Neeson movies and I love things with like CGI, like Planet of the Apes or Jurassic Park. Like that's another genre that I will never say no to, you know? Which, by the way, if you guys love The Traitors, I'm telling you, and I know you're all busy and I know you all have shit going on, watch Claim to Fame. It's on Hulu and it's like, so it's just like The Traitors. It's so fun. Watch it.
I have a recommendation for you when you get home. It just came out on Netflix on Friday. It's called An American Nightmare. It's a 3-part series on Netflix, and it is the craziest story, you guys, about a kidnapping. It's basically this dude and his girlfriend. Kidnappers break in at 3 a.m. and they kidnap his girlfriend. And it starts off where you're like, oh, this guy definitely did it. I mean, it's like the craziest story because they installed a camera and said, you can't move from this place. They made him wear blackout goggles. They put her in a trunk of his car, drove off in the car. But then she was returned 2 days later, 2 or 3 days later. And it's like a whole mystery. It's 3-part. I don't want to give it away, but it is, the first episode is going to grab you and you're going to go through a lot of suspicions on who you think did it. And it's really it's really, really, I want more. I want more.
I'm so excited. Oh my God, I'm going to download that for the plane.
And know what I got to watch? I watched a couple of, this is not out yet. I don't know, Vanderpump Villa on Hulu. It's not out yet. It's Lisa Vanderpump's new show about the workers over at a French villa. And I have to tell you, it's pretty, I mean, it's
does it actually
weirdly good.
Does it take place in France?
It does.
Why did I think it took place at Vegas?
Because she has like all the Vegas restaurants, and then she has like a Tahoe one now. But this is like at a villa and it is.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'll talk about it more when I'm allowed to talk about it. But it was like, oh shit! Like there's like a Jax character in it that like I can't wait. I mean, it was.
Oh my God, imagine the French version of Jax. Oh my God, that's terrifying.
Oh, and you had like a Ken appearance. Like they had Ken out there drinking his wine, and I was like, "Did you know sometimes you kiss you, girl, can't leave that." Okay, you guys. Sophie, what are you doing tonight with your mom? What are you guys doing now?
Watching football, hanging out, drinking beers. We're at the embassy.
But Sophie's had a big bottle of Suds this whole time, just drinking away at it.
Because I don't want to get up and get a second one, so I'm just like savoring it.
Smart.
But I messed up and I booked a hotel for like the entirely wrong city when I was booking. I don't know what I did, but I messed up, and my mom got here before me and was like, hey, the hotel doesn't have any record of our reservation. But you know what? Thank you, Embassy Suites.
This is, by the way, this is why we need a docuseries of Sophie's wedding and the leading up to it, because this would be a great storyline where you were like screwing up this badly right at the beginning. But anyways, Sophie, and by the way, Sophie was on X Knows All podcast a couple weeks ago, but always go to her Twitter, follow her there, and her Instagram. She'll post whenever she's on a show or something like that, but always go support Sophie. I know she's really busy, but hopefully she's writing all this in a journal so she can have a wedding book one day that she can sell. I think that would be a great book for Sophie. And let's hope the Chiefs win for Taylor. Wait, is the game over? Is the game over?
I don't want the Chiefs to win I'm sorry, I don't. I'm sick of the Chiefs, and I'm sick of. Okay, I'm sorry, guys.
Don't be like this. I can't. Don't. They're gonna give me bad reviews again. This is bad. This is bad.
Oh my God, Swifties! I didn't mean it.
Wait, what's the score right now? Is it done?
It's I think it's still 27-24. Chiefs. So Chiefs are in the lead right now, but there's still 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
If they lose, though, just think what that conversation is going to be like. Taylor's never had experience with losing really in this kind of way.
God. But it has nothing to do with her though, you know?
Does it?
Like,
Does
you can't
it?
blame her. Swifties, you hear that? Like, let's not blame Taylor. I'm cool.
Well, this was awesome. I needed this. So hopefully you guys love this as much as I did. And we will talk to Sophie very, very soon. Hello to Amy Ross out there.
I'll tell her hi.